Hey, what's up guys? Tony here, and welcome to week 7 of the NFL. And this is of course week 7 in Scott McLean's Be a NFL Superstar. Look at all that pink at breast cancer awareness time in the NFL. I thought that was like a week. It seems like it's ongoing, ever present in the NFL. So, I guess it's been a while since I made a video, so I guess I better make this one a good one. Let's see here, last week, where did I go? 9-4. Okay week. Right now 53-21 on the season minus week 1 because I didn't do it. There are a couple of games this week that I think are games of the week. I won't say there's a game of the week, but there's a couple of games that I think for me were hard to predict, and so I will get right into that. First though, I just want to say thanks to LordDsplae for the little watermark in the right hand corner there. That's awesome, dude. It's freaking awesome. And he's a Raiders fan, and he made that for me, Chargers fan, so I guess we can be friends. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this real quick because I got a couple other things I want to talk about. So you're Washington at Carolina. I'm picking Carolina. That's one of, say, 2 games this week that I think are going to be hard to call. Seattle and Cleveland, I'm going with Seattle. Atlanta and Detroit, I'm going with Detroit. Denver and Minnesota. Denver and Miami, I'm going to take Denver. San Diego at the Jets. San Diego. Chicago at Tampa Bay, I'm taking Chicago. That's another game that's sort of up in the air for me. I don't quite know how to call it. I think it could go either way, but I'm taking Chicago. I'm going to go with my gut. Houston and Tennessee, I'm going to take Houston. Pittsburgh, Arizona, I'm taking Pittsburgh. Kansas City and Oakland, I'm going to pick Oakland. St. Louis and Dallas, I'm picking Dallas. Green Bay at Minnesota, I'm going to pick Green Bay. And let's see here, Indianapolis and New Orleans, I'm going to pick New Orleans, of course. And Baltimore and Jacksonville, I'm picking Baltimore. So anyways, I want to rush through that really quick because there's a couple things I want to get to. And I'm pretty sure you guys have already known and have already heard about the quarterback situations that are going on, not only throughout the NFL, but I'm concentrating specifically on the AFC West just because that's where my interests lie. And so we know from, you know, SportsCenter and anywhere else you're paying attention to that Carson Palmer has been signed. Actually, no, he got traded, which is kind of strange because he retired, but somehow he remained property of the Bengals. Maybe throughout his contract, or unless he had to be retired for a certain amount of time. I'm not exactly sure how the retirement process works for the NFL, but he was traded from the Bengals to the Raiders for 2 first-round picks or something like that. The deal itself I don't quite understand because they said that the potential for the second-year first-round pick might not be there or something. I think it all depends on where the Bengals finish their seasons. So, anyway, or no, wherever the Raiders finish in their seasons. Anyways, they picked up, the Raiders that is, they picked up Carson Palmer, who I think is actually a good addition to their team. Their quarterback situation has been fairly weak the last couple of years. The guy's name escapes me at the moment, but when you've got a guy, now I'm gonna say a USC guy. When you get a guy with that sort of caliber of quarterback talent, leading an offense that's primarily a running offense, I think that adds some dimensions, some new dimensions to that team that aren't there, so they could become a legitimate threat. I've never really taken the Raiders seriously before just because they've always been that team that's been the retirement home for the NFL the last 5-6 years, and they've never really been that good, but last season they showed some flashes of real talent, and this year they're really stunning people. So I'm going to start to take them a little bit more seriously because when San Diego, when we lost them twice last year, it was kind of a joke. We were just sort of like, okay, why? Because we, as Charger fans, we believe that we played down to those guys, and for the most part we did. We had an offense that should have just utterly annihilated them, but we didn't seem to capitalize. So now with a quarterback like Carson Palmer, a legitimate, I don't want to call him a superstar, but a legitimately good quarterback, there's some things to start looking at now. Maybe that'll change the way this team plays. I don't know. But and then also you've got Tim Tebow in Denver. I'm still up in the air about this idea. I don't think that organization is, I don't think the quarterback situation is what's going to fix that organization. I think that Tim Tebow is a dynamic player. I think that he brings a lot to that team, and he brings a lot to the offense, like a Michael Vick. You know, he can run if he needs to run, you know, and he can scramble very well. He's very good at getting around the pocket. That last play in the fourth quarter of the San Diego-Denver game showed that. He he extended the play for a fair amount of time. Like any other quarterback would have been sacked or would have had to throw the ball away, but he was able to extend that play and make a throw into the end zone. It wasn't a catchable ball. I mean, at first I was like, holy crap, that was close, but the replay showed that it wasn't a catchable ball at all. So, like I said, I think he's a dynamic player. I just don't think that the Broncos have all the tools that they need to take advantage of these two quarterbacks that they have. I think that Kyle Orton is still a good quarterback, and maybe he'll just need to go to another team that's in desperate need for a quarterback, say like Seattle. That's a team that that could really use a very good quarterback, and I think Kyle Orton is a good quarterback. I just don't think that, one, the Denver fan base was behind him, and two, I don't think the program anymore is a good program. I think they lost a handful of their good receivers. Look at me get sacked twice. Oof, that's some ugly sacks. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And to be honest, I don't even know. This is my prediction. Carson Palmer, being the USC guy, being a guy who wants to win a Super Bowl. Every player wants to win a Super Bowl, but these are guys who come from organizations that have a high degree of success, and the alumni expect that sort of success when they get onto the next level. They are probably the most NFL prepared players out there. On average. I'll say on average. I'm not trying to make a blanket statement about USC as if they're the end-all be-all of college football teams. But they do produce good players. Basically, here's my point, is that I think Carson Palmer, if he can't make it to the playoffs, and I don't know what kind of deal he signed with Oakland. If he signed a one-year deal, I think if they don't make it to the playoffs, or if they don't show potential, I think he's gone. I think he could have used the Raiders as his way back into the NFL. And unless the Raiders can make it to the postseason and show flashes of true potential to get to where they want to go to the Super Bowl, I don't think he's going to be around. I think he's going to find another team. And like I said, Seattle's a team that could use a new quarterback, an experienced quarterback. There's probably a handful of other teams that could. I just would have to, go down and look at the roster really quick and not, think about this off the top of my head. So, anyways, enough with that. I want to talk a little Charger football. When I do the MLB videos, for a while I was doing a lot of Padre baseball, and after a while, it gets a little old grinding that same axe. So I want to try to do a little Charger football, just sort of break down this thing, and just sort of talk about where we've been so far in the season and where we're going. Because everyone is saying this next half of the season is the make or break point for the Chargers, because they really haven't faced any great teams. We played the Patriots back in week 2, which was a great show for us Charger fans. Like, what do we have here? And when we noticed, like, wow, okay, I think we played very timid against Tom Brady and the Patriots, but you can see so far, what are we, 4-1 right now or something like that? Going into week 7, that doesn't sound right. That's only 5 games. Oh no, that'll be right, because we weren't week 6. We didn't play. So, anyways, we're 4-1 going into week 7. Yeah, that still gets my head all confused. I'm like, there's like missing number in there. We didn't play any great teams, and we're playing, I think, the first of a handful. Man, I'm just getting my ass kicked. It's been a while since I played this game. We're first of a handful of really good teams, the top tier teams in the NFL. And for us, this is going to be that point where we're going to go, okay, are we an elite football team, or have we somehow fallen from those elite teams? Every year they always predict that the Chargers are going to go to the Super Bowl. The last 3 seasons, they always say the Chargers have the raw talent, they just need to put those pieces together. And that's so very true. We seem to be this second half football team. Either it's a second second half of the game, or it's the second half of the season. We can't wait for November to come around because our team is just ridiculous. November and December. So maybe that will be the game changer, the season changer for us. I don't know, but you're looking at, here's the teams that we have. At least I'm going to count. I'm going to count the teams, not some of the crap. We played Kansas City. We played Denver a couple more times. I think we play. Who did I write down here? Well, anyways, here's the good teams that we're playing. We've got the Bills, the Ravens, the Lions, the Packers, Oakland twice, and the Jets this coming week. Those are going to be good teams for us. If we can beat those teams, I think that'll go a long way for the Chargers to gain that confidence that they need, and potentially get us into that rhythm just get my ass kicked by the Jets, I'm noticing. But if we can beat those teams, I think we'll go far. You know, especially when we've got the Ravens. The Ravens are always a hard team, no matter like what their offense is playing like. Their defense is always stellar. You know, it's one of those things that they just always have a great defense. But teams like the Lions, the Packers especially, you know, you got Super Bowl defending champions. The Packers, tough team to beat. And so those are the games that, as a fan, you're looking forward to, because you want to see how your team stacks up against the known elites. And then there's that other part of you that's just like, man, I really hope we don't get stomped. You know, you want to play and you want to compete. And at least that, you know what, that's for me. You know, I look at that schedule going, okay, cool. I'd like to see how the Chargers will fare against these well-known, established premier teams. And I think that's what the one thing the Chargers are lacking is that long-term confidence. You know, they are a good team. They have talent, but they're just not that team that goes to the postseason year after year and makes it far. We're that team that maybe will win the West, or like last season, go like 500, and you know, anyways. So you go in there every year. You're that team that everyone fears. That's the kind of football team that you want to be, and we don't have that yet. So unfortunately, that's what we're missing. And maybe the second half of the season, if we can beat these good teams, will show us that we're a good football team, a good football organization, and a good franchise. So, okay, I'm going to get off that little rant. One thing I want to talk about just quick, because I only have, I don't know, a couple minutes left. I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but there's an article going around about how they are thinking about continuing. They've been playing football games in the UK. Look at me scramble. Yeah. They've been playing football games in the UK, regular season, I guess recently. It was postseason or preseason before. But they're trying to build an interest in American football over in Europe. And the idea is, I think they're trying to branch out and have international teams, which makes me wonder. I mean, what do you guys feel? Would you guys like to see international football teams, you know, in the NFL, which would make it kind of strange, which I kind of have a beef about the whole National Hockey League, because it's actually Canadian and American, so maybe it should just be the North American Hockey League or something. I don't know. So how do you guys feel about international football teams? Do you think that it'll be a good thing, or do you think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a gimmick and it might not last very long because Europe's not really interested in American football? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right, so let's get on to some points. I can't remember what I put points into, but I guess we're going to find out real quick. Usually it's going to be accuracy. I'm trying to get my accuracy up there. So 1 point short and on the run, and that's it, guys. All right, guys, that has been week 7. Let's see what happens this week. All right, go Chargers. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll talk to you later.